Hello and a very warm welcome. Thanks for taking the time to join me today. I hope the day finds you well and you've had an enjoyable Christmas. I wanted to share some simple bread recipes with you. Making your own bread can seem intimidating at first, but it's so easy to do and I think very satisfying. Having a freshly baked loaf with no nasty hidden ingredients, what could be better? Here's your list of ingredients. Before we start, I'd like to apologise for the lighting. It's a very dull and cold day here and it's so difficult to film without getting shadows everywhere. I like to start my dough off in my stand mixer, but of course you can complete the whole process by hand if you prefer. So let's get started. Add your flour to your mixing bowl and then add your yeast, sugar and salt to separate sides of the bowl. Give it a mix and then using the dough hook, set the mixer on a low speed and add the butter a little at a time. Then slowly add the warm water. You might not need all the water. We're looking for a soft dough that is just coming together. At this point, you can either tip the dough out onto a work surface and knead by hand, or continue to knead in the stand mixer. I like to get it out and knead by hand as it's easier to get a feel of the dough. However you prefer to do it, make sure you are kneading the dough for at least 10 minutes. If you're doing this by hand, you'll feel the dough getting tighter. Lightly grease a bowl and put the dough in and make sure it's got a light covering of oil all over. Then cover the bowl and leave in a warm place for around 45 minutes or until it's doubled in size. It's very cold here at the moment and so my dough is taking a little longer to prove. While the dough is resting, grease a loaf tin. I've used a 2-pound loaf tin here. Once ready, lightly flour your work surface and scrape the dough out of the bowl. Knead for another few minutes, stretching out the dough and folding it in on itself. Then form into a log about the size of the tin. Gently press into the corners of the loaf tin and sprinkle with a light dusting of flour. Cover and leave again for about an hour or until it has doubled in size. This will of course depend on the temperature of your kitchen. Preheat your oven and put a roasting tin in the bottom of the oven. Once we've put the bread in, we'll pour in some cold water, which will create steam and help to form that nice crust. Once the dough has risen, put in the middle of your preheated oven and quickly pour some water into the preheated tray at the bottom. It will need to be baked for around 30 minutes, but I like to set the timer for 20 minutes and then remove the bread from the tin and put it back in the oven for the last 10 minutes to form a nice crust. Leave to cool on a wire rack. I would normally leave it to cool properly before cutting, but for the purposes of filming, I cut a slice and you can hear that beautiful crust. And what better way to serve than with some homemade butter. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you again very soon.